live. Wait, are we live? We're live! We're live! What's up? How's everybody doing today? Today, we are going to do... Okay, so just my email just came out now. It just emailed me saying that I am live. Today, we're going to do some ear training practice. And we're going to do it with an instrument. In this case, I'm going to do it with my guitar because it's easy and you can see it, and I have it up close so you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to practice singing, actually. This is I've got about 5 exercises that I want you to practice. And obviously, to get really good at it, my ear training method you can check out, and I have a discount code for that, which is RB224, 20% off the Beato ear training method, and 35% off my book to understand the theory behind this, because there is some theory involved with ear training, because you have to know what things are, like chords and intervals and things like that. So the book tells you what those things are. And then the ear training, my ear training program is a video and a program. There are hundreds of modules. You can go to beatoeartraining.com and check it out there. But this is going to be we're going to practice singing here. This is all going to be singing. I'm not a great singer. And if you're not a great singer, it doesn't matter. You want to try to sing as close to in tune as possible. And you want to start in a range that fits your voice naturally. Something that's easy to sing. I'm going to start with the note D, and I'm going to do my warm-up exercise. My warm-up exercise is going to be the chromatic scale from D. So what we're going to do is we're going to bounce up to the interval and then back down to the tonic. Okay, so I'm going to go da, and I sang that E flat, right? And I'm going to go da, 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 da. Okay, so I did da, 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 da. Okay, I sang from D to D. I'm thinking of the intervals in my head. I'm not saying them. I'm just hearing the chromatic movement. Now I'm going to sing da. Ready? So we're going to go da, da, backwards. Da, it's the same thing backwards. Da, 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 da. Les Hall is in the house. Everybody, Les Hall. What's up, Les? That's my chromatic exercise. When you practice singing up to the interval and then back down, you're practicing the intervals in both ways, right? And I'm going to do it again. Da, 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 da. Now I did it without playing the notes, so I'm just singing those notes. But really, you want to test yourself to make sure that you're in tune as well as you can be. If I were to move that note to a different, let's say I moved it up a step, it starts to become difficult in the high register. So this, it's already hard to, so I'm going to have to go da, 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 da. See, I just went over my break there, okay? So what I want to try and do is not go over the break in my voice. So I want to find the comfortable notes. So probably D for me, E flat, D flat, C, B, all those are good for my voice. But D is about as high as I can go. I knew that, actually. That's about as high as I can go, where I can sing that octave interval. Okay? So that's the first thing. That's my warm-up. You can do this on the piano. You can do it with really any instrument. But what you want to do is you want to play your note, da, and then sing the interval first, then test yourself. Okay? The testing of yourself is to make sure that you're in tune. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is actually one of the exercises that I do in the ear training course I talk about. It's actually a practice exercise, but I call it complete the chord. Okay, so I'll start on D again. I'm playing a D and A. And I'm going to sing the third. Da. So I sang this F sharp note. So that's called completing the chord. Da, that would be making it a minor chord, right? Saying the F. Da is major. So we're going to just do major chords. Da, 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 da. Okay. What I was doing there, I sang da. I sang the third of the. I made these all major chords. F major. I sing the third, which is A. I'm singing G sharp on the E chord, which is the third. Singing F on the D flat. Singing F sharp on the D. I don't have perfect pitch. Okay, I know these notes in my ear because I can hear those intervals. Okay. I'm not a great singer, but if I'm playing this note and I know the next note in the melody is da, then I know to play that major third interval or play it here. You have to know where these intervals are on your instrument. That's why it's important to practice your instrument, okay? This is where the theory of this comes in. In my book, my Beato book, the first thing that we talk about, and my last live stream was about this, is how to name intervals, okay? What they're called. The next thing to do is actually know how they're played on your instrument. So on guitar, a major third, and I do this in the Beato book. I show you how all the different intervals are played, and I show you how to do triads, right? Da, 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 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Okay. By the way, Beato book discount code is RB224, just like the ear training discount code. Beato book ear training is a 35% off. The ear training course is 20% off. What did I say? 35% off. Yeah, on the Beato book. Okay, so completing the chord. So I did major chords here, right? Once again, ba. I'm going to sing the third. Da, 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 da. I feel like Kurt Cobain because that's what he did. Now I'm going to play a different inversion. If I play this note, da. Okay, so I completed. I started with a perfect fourth interval. Okay, so I'm thinking of this chord right here, E major. So I have the fifth in the bass. Da. So I played the fifth and the root, and I'm singing the third this way. Da. Okay, now if I play the root in the third, like this, da. Now I sang the fifth. So there are three ways to complete the chord. You can complete the chord just with a major triad by playing a perfect fifth interval, and I'm always singing the note that is not in the chord. So if I sing that, if I play this and I sing da, I'm singing the third because that's missing from the chord because I have the root and fifth. Root, fifth, root, third, right, fifth, da. Then you go, da, So that there I'm playing the third and I'm singing the fifth. Okay, this is called predictive ear training. Okay, so this is actually the most advanced way that you can practice is predictive, where you actually have to hear the note before you sing it. So so you want to practice the different inversions of the chord, the two notes. Then you go and you work on minor chords. Okay, so we'll start on D minor. So if I'm playing this root and fifth, I want to sing the third here. This is F, right? Da, 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 and then play them after you. So I'm playing the root and the fifth, and I'm singing the third, da, which is F. I'm singing root, fifth, root, da, ba, ba, and I'm singing the third there. I'm screwing myself up. So root, fifth, da, 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 right? Practice that. Go through all your majors, through all your minors. Do the same thing with your intervals like this. Play the fifth, so this would be E minor. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to sing da and practice that. And then when you play the third, let's say I'm doing B flat minor, ba, I'm going to sing the note that's missing from that. So it's going to be root, flat third, fifth. I'm singing the fifth. Ba. Okay. Now, the next thing you want to do is to play, to practice singing other notes of the chord beyond the notes that are in the triad. Let's say I play this interval, and I want to sing this flat six, da, that note, da. So that I'm hearing the root and the fifth, and then I'm trying to sing the flat fifth or the flat sixth, right? Da. If I sing that note, I know it's the sixth. It's that note. If I sing da, I know it's that note, which is the flat seven. Okay. Now you can also do the same thing and go beyond the octave, right? Da, 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 fifth, flat six, six, flat seven, major seven, whoops, octave. Okay, that's, so you're singing flat nine, nine, flat third, third. I'm going up the octave. So I'm going an octave and then a half step, then an octave, then a whole step, then an octave, then a minor third. Those are your extended intervals, or what we call compound intervals. But they sound the same to the ear if I'm going to go da or da, right? Same thing. I sang them in the two different octaves. It doesn't matter. You should be able to do them both like that. You should also be able to play da. So I sang that note, the ninth, da, and I completed the chord that way. Okay? Next thing that we're going to practice is singing simple arpeggios. Okay? I would start with just major triads. Da, da. So I played root and I sang the third, fifth. Then you're going to play it. Da, da. Da, da. Da, da. Da, da. Da, da. Okay, so there, I'm completing the chord and singing the arpeggio. Once again, you have to hear these things in your head to be able to sing them and then sing them accurately. So that if I'm going to play a note and I want to play da, 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 okay, I know those notes are going to come out the exact, I know that I'm going to sing them, I'm hearing them in my head, and I know exactly where they are in relation to what I'm playing, okay? This is exactly what relative pitch is. My ear training course does all this stuff for you. It teaches you this stuff and it tests you on it. You can just keep going over and over and over it. But what you want to do is you want to practice these exercises on your own, and then you go to the computer program. Okay, so that's my videos that go with the course. Have you practice things like this, and then the program actually tests you on it. Okay, and it tests you in all keys. It is randomized, and in order to pass a level, you have to get 80% on it. I'm looking at some of the comments about perfect pitch. You can only develop perfect pitch as a baby, okay? So there is no perfect pitch development as an adult. But you can develop your relative pitch so well that people think that you have perfect pitch. That is really what you want to have anyways, because everyone loses their perfect pitch eventually, okay? So in addition to singing the notes, so I'm going to da, 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 da. I sang a minor triad that time. Then I played it. Da, 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 the next thing to do, so after you practice I would just stick with major and minor triads, singing them. By the way, you check out my ear training courses, beatoeartraining.com. The next thing you want to do is I would do added notes to these things. And I'd start with simple major add 9 and minor add 9 chords to practice. Bum, bum, bum. 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 Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Giant steps, right? Okay, so practicing those added note chords there, and then you play them. Bum, 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 boo, da, 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 ba, da. Okay, so there I just went through an add 9 arpeggio, or da 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 da. So I'm singing all those intervals, so I'm hearing all those intervals. Scott just said this is George Benson stuff. It is George Benson stuff. Bum boo do 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 da da boo da 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 da. Okay, so all those kind of things that I'm doing there, I'm singing those notes, I hear them, and I know where to play them. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Then you practice these arpeggios, added note chords, things like that. You practice them as you sing them. Don't do it with other people around. If you're a bad singer, you feel self-conscious about it, but I wouldn't worry about it. One of the most important things to do as a musician is to not be afraid, or one of the things to kind of overcome is to not be afraid of singing, even if you're not a great singer. And I am not a great singer, and I admit it all the time. You guys hear me sing or attempt to sing in my videos. You just can't be embarrassed by it, okay? Da, da, da. That would be like a dominant 7 sus4 arpeggio. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 da, da, ba, 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 ba. Do, 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 do. Anything that I'm thinking of, I'm going to be able to play what I'm hearing in my head. It doesn't matter if I'm going da 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 da, whatever it might be. You should be able to play anything and sing it. So this is really the first thing that you should do when you pick up your instrument, is to practice these basic singing exercises. This is before you even get into your ear training or before you get into your instrument practice. I would definitely do this. These things start to get difficult when you get into more complex lines, right? If I'm playing like playing more chromatic lines there is difficult. It is. But eventually you will be able to do that. Somebody said, what about solfege words? Solfege is not important at this point. Being able to hear intervals and sing them is more important than knowing the solfege names. Ultimately, what you want to be able to do, you want to be able to recognize intervals, chords, anything that you hear, you should be able to recognize without solfege intervals. You should just be able to recognize it. If I play this as a major add 9 arpeggio, do da do da do da da da, da 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 da. See, I sang down an octave there, but I sang it. It didn't matter. I want to. Da, 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 da. It's hard for me. Da, 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 da. Is more in my range. Don't worry if you transpose it down the octave. Da, ba, ba. Da, da, da. That's what I would. That's the first thing I would do before you get into your daily practice of your technical things or whatever you're going to be working on. And really the first thing is to actually find out what your vocal range is. So I would find out where your break is. You can do it on piano or on guitar and just find out. I find that the D is a comfortable range for me without having to go where I can go da. I can sing that octave note. It's kind of in a falsetto, but it's really easy. Dum, bum, no problem. Da, 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 da. Always check yourself to make sure you're perfectly in tune, okay? So, Beato book sale, RB 224, 35% off my book. It's got all these arpeggios in it that you can play. It has them written down too if you read, and you can play them on piano or any instrument. And the ear training course, go check it out at beatoeartraining.com, but it's 20% off my ear training course today, which is discount code is the same, RB224, today's date. What if you can't hit the notes right? Vladimir asked. You have to don't worry if your pitch is not perfect, if you don't have perfect intonation. Try to really think it in your head first. Imagine what the note sounds like, right? Dum, and then play the note. Really focus on it though, okay? And eventually you can hold on, Billy, hold on. I'm going to do something here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Love it. I never get to do that anymore. Bob is talking about my, I wanted to talk very briefly here about my, the video that I did, on copyright, on the copyright thing with the Beatles. I had a lot of people talk about class action suits in there that I should get together with other people with, Adam, Paul, Davids, and other YouTubers. And the thing is that I'm going to be 58 years old. The class action suits cost a lot of money and they take a lot of time. I wanted to just put this out there for people, for younger musicians that are on YouTube. And I think that it's important for them to carry on the fight with this, that people that have the time and have the fire to do this. This is a very, very long-term goal. There's definitely people out there in the legal world that would help out on this. Copyright is not a bad thing, though. And I'm not saying that copyright should be outlawed. I have no problem paying the artist when I do what makes a song great. When I do anything like that, no problem paying the artist. The artist should get paid. Period. They should. Okay? The only problem I have is when you demonstrate a melody during an obvious teaching video where the song is not consequential at all. I mean, I didn't have to use She Said, She Said, a 54-year-old song, as somebody wrote in the comments section, that most people don't know anymore, unfortunately. It's a great, great song. And I thought it's a great example. The Beatles songs, John Lennon's melodies are very intervallic, and he used Mixolydian a lot, but so many people use Mixolydian. AC/DC uses Mixolydian all the time. I mean, it's the most common mode for rock music, and it's common in jazz. But copyright is not a bad thing. That was definitely an example of fair use. So I don't think that YouTube just wants to stay out of it. I don't have a problem with, I'm not mad at YouTube or anything. A lot of people say, oh, it's YouTube's fault, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. It's the publishing companies that are the ones that are doing this. Okay. They're the ones that are going after the artists, and the manual claims are happening. They have in-house people that are doing this, and then they also contract out to third parties for this thing, and they have they have finer bot detection that will detect these melodies that are embedded inside videos where it's not obvious to a bot that it's the actual sound recording. So if somebody plays a melody. I remember Paul Davids played an Eagles melody or something, wasn't it, Billy? Something like that, that he got his video taken down with. So they have more. I've talked to people. Look, I know people at all the publishers. I'm signed to Sony Publishing, or I used to be signed to Sony Publishing. I know people at all the different publishing companies. I talk to people that are that actually work doing this kind of work, that follow my channel and follow Adam's channel, people like that. We've talked to them. Both of us have talked to them. So they don't like it either. That's their job, and they get paid. Like collection agencies do on how much money that they can claim. And the best time to claim a video is right when it comes out. So that's the deal. And people have said, oh, why don't you just use your own music or use unknown artist music? It's like, well, I don't want to use unknown artist music because people don't know the things. Sony just bought the Mixolydian scale. You see that, Billy? Last week. One of my buddies was saying, oh, I copywrote 2 and 4 on the snare back in 1963. But yes, this was a real clear example of an educational use of fair use, I believe. If it went to court, I have a very strong case with that. But I don't have the time nor resources to do that. So that's for younger people to do. But I wanted to put it out there and tell people about it, though, because I don't think that a lot of people actually know how this works. But YouTube is a great thing, and it's a place where people go to learn. Okay. Anyways, Subi just asked, does equal temperament sound out if you have perfect pitch? It really depends on who the person with perfect pitch is, because there are many levels of perfect pitch. So I had a thing where Billy and my son Dylan was down here, and I was holding my tuner app, and I said, Dylan, sing whatever note it was, and he sang it, and it goes dead on to the center of the tuning thing, like you're tuning your guitar, but right in the center. And I said, how do you know? Do you have that pitch playing in your head? And he says, I don't know. And it was just funny. He doesn't know. He knows where that note is. Let's see here. Paul says it's obvious fair use. Rick, clear as that. Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. Thank you for all of you that agree with me. There were some people that were complaining, oh, you use the songs, you should pay up, you should know better. It's like, give me a break. All music schools do this. It's just that YouTube is not looked at as a legitimate teaching platform, even though it's the biggest teaching platform of any by far. Nothing compares to YouTube. YouTube is where you go to learn things. Your water heater goes out, go to YouTube. You got something that comes on your dashboard in your car, some light you never saw, go to YouTube. It'll tell you what it is. Anyways, you guys are amazing. Practice your ear training. Don't, if you're self-conscious about your voice, do it with no one around. But ultimately, don't be afraid of singing. Singing is really important, even if you have a bad voice. Be proud of your singing, of your bad singing. Okay? I get on here and I sing, and these videos, some of these videos get 1 million views that I or more with my horrible singing. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys later.